Hello, I welcome you in the next part of this particular model, which is called NLP communication model. In the first part, we understood that how exactly from the external event our mind creates perception after deleting, distorting, generalizing the things. These filters actually work based on the beliefs, values, past experiences, memories, focus, decision, information, physiological state, and meta programs, right? So all these things actually affect our filter, and after the filtration things get registered inside our mind. So I hope by now you are clear with all these things, and the conclusion to which we actually arrived, that was event 1 is not equal to event 2. That means whatever is going on in the external world and what perception we have, both are not the same, they are different. Reality and perception both are different, and we live in the world of our perceptions. We do not live in the real world, because we function in this world based on the map that we carry inside our mind, and that map is based on our perceptions. That map gets created, or that map is the collection of our various perceptions. So by now you are clear with all these concepts, and now let's move ahead, let's move forward. So the next learning that you need to take from this model is that, suppose there are two different people, right? In the same event is going on, and there are two different people. So will two different people have same perception of that event, or will they have different perceptions? What is your point of view? Yes, by now you know that since they both have different beliefs, values, past experiences, that means their mindset is different. So although they are in the same event, but their perception will be totally different, or maybe slightly different, based on how similar are their beliefs, values, past experiences, etc. Right? So different people will have different perceptions in the same event. Let me give you some example. You go to a movie with your friend, the same movie is being played on the screen, still maybe you like the movie and your friend is getting bored from that movie. So movie is the same, but perceptions are different. In the same way, some situation has arrived in your house, in your home, maybe some crisis or some challenge has appeared, and now there are different people in your house, and everyone has their own perception, has their own point of view of looking at the situation, right? So in same situation, if different people are there, they will have different perceptions, and everyone will feel that whatever I am perceiving is the reality, because everyone thinks that their perception is reality. Actual truth is, reality is different from perception. So if we want to draw it as a conclusion, so it will be, if there are two different persons in the same event. So the first learning that we got, it was event 1 is not equal to event 2. Now the second learning is, suppose event is same. In the same event E1, there are two different people. One person is person 1 and the second person is person 2. Now both of them will create their own perceptions. So the perception of person 1 of the same event will be, we can call it P1 E2, and the perception of second person can be called as P2 E2. That means both are creating their E2, but since the person is different, that's why the perception will also be different. Hence P1 E2 is equal to P2 E2. Is this right? No, it is wrong, because P1 E2 will not be equal to P2 E2. That means two different people in the same scenario, in the same event, will carry different perceptions, and both of them will believe that whatever they are perceiving is the reality. That's why people behave in different way in the same situation. So this is the second conclusion. I hope you have got the understanding of this concept, right? Now let's get back to this page. Now you know that when you were perceiving some particular event, the event was perceived due to your five senses. That means with the help of information that your five senses gathered. And when we talk about human learning, visual, audio, and feeling, these are the major components. That means these are the major ingredients with the help of which we create our perception. Taste and smell also plays important role, but most of the time in NLP we assume them to be the part of this kinesthesia. That means part of the kinesthetic sense, feeling sense. The brain of a dog is a smell brain. So for a dog to perceive, the sense that works a lot is the smell sense. But for humans, smell sense does not matter that much. You do not smell your friend and you recognize, okay, this is John. No, you don't do like that, because you know that your brain perceives information with the help of visuals, audios, and feelings. That is the main important part, right? Now let's get to the next topic. So when you are perceiving the things, so visual, audio, and feeling information is very crucial. It is very important to you, because this is what you perceive, you read, and then you represent it inside your mind. So whenever perception gets created, this E2 gets created. We already know that this is E1, so this becomes E2, right? So since E1 was made up of V, A, K, G, and O, that means visuals, audios, feelings, taste, and smell. In the same way, when we talk about E2, so mostly E2 is made up of visuals, audios, and feelings. That means E2 is something which is created with the help of visual information, audio information, and information on feelings. Whenever you recall any event, just recall any event of your life, maybe some celebration or some situation or some accident or whatever the situation was, you will find that some images flash on your mind, on your mental screen. You can listen to some audios and you can feel certain feelings, right? So V, A, and K, these three components combine to create your particular perception, right? So when we are talking about this E2, so this E2 is made up of V, A, and K. Visuals, audios, and feelings. Taste and smell also play their role, but mostly we assume that they are the part of kinesthesia. They are the part of feelings. Now, this VAK or internal representation, because this is representation, the event is represented inside your mind. So this is called internal representation, and you already know that since perception of one person will be different from perception of the other person, that's why this is called personal internal representation. So we call this E2 personal internal representation, or in short we call this PIR, right? Personal internal representation, we call it PIR. Now from here you have got this understanding that E1 is the external event, E2 is the internal event, internal representation, and E2 is the PIR of E1. So what are the two learnings that we have got from this particular model, this point? This is the third point. E2 is made up of V plus A plus K. That means E2 is created with the help of VAK, visuals, audios, and feelings. Now the next thing is, we can say that E2 is PIR, that means personal internal representation of E1. We say that E2 is the PIR of E1. So E2 is the personal internal representation of event 1. So by this time we have got to this learning. I hope you are now clear with all these 4 points. Now let's understand something which is very interesting and very powerful, right? The next point. So whatever is going on in your mind, is a PIR, that means personal internal representation. So based on your PIR, that means personal internal representation, you acquire some physiology. Now, what exactly is physiology? In layman language, you call physiology as body language. But when we are talking in NLP, we call it physiology. That means your physical form, your physical body. So, what are the ingredients in this physiology? Your facial expression, your breathing pattern, your gesture, your posture, everything. That means whatever is going on in your body is the part of your physiology, right? How you are standing, how you are looking, what is the facial expression, what is the dilation of your pupils, that mean how exactly you are looking, everything is the part of your physiology. Now we acquire some physiology automatically without consciously choosing something. Automatically we acquire some physiology. Suppose you are happy, so at the moment when you are happy, what comes on your face? Smile. Yes, automatically you actually acquire a smile. Your lips widen, you show some facial expressions, and people can understand that right now you are happy. You don't do it consciously, you don't do it out of choice, that oh, good thoughts are going on in my mind, so let me widen my lips and let me wear some smile. No, you don't do like that. Actually, when you are happy, automatically smile comes on your face, right? So personal internal representation automatically determines that what kind of physiology you will acquire. Suppose you are very sad, you are very down, or maybe you are depressed. So most of the times you will find that your shoulders are dropped, your face is down, and maybe you are looking left down or right down, right? So what actually is happening is, when you go into some particular state, or let me explain it in this way, when you create some PIR, when you register some PIR, or when you access some PIR means personal internal representation. In the easiest form, you can understand them as thoughts. Whatever thoughts are going on in your mind, these thoughts trigger some physiological pattern in you. That means you acquire some physiology, and once you acquire some physiology, your thoughts and your body language both match. If good thoughts are going on inside your mind, your physiology will be like that. If thoughts of sadness, depression, hurt, guilt are going on in your mind, your body will respond to them automatically in the same way, right? So now here is a great learning. Whatever is going on in your mind and whatever is going on in your body, the sum total of these two things is called state, right? Or it is called state of mind. So now we need to understand, we need to learn that the sum total of what is going on in your mind and what is going on in your body, it is called your state. Right? So now what is the learning? Right. So the next learning is state is equal to PIR plus physiology. Right? That means state of mind means what is going on in your mind and what is going on in your body. The sum total of what is going on in your mind and what is going on in your body is called as a state. And if you want to become the master of your life, you need to become the master of your state. You need to become someone who has total control over his or her state. You need to understand this, that a state is very, very important. Sometimes people say, or trainers, coaches say that a state is everything, because once you master your state, you master your life. Because state is something which actually triggers some behavior in you or determines some behavior. We will learn it in the model right now in a few moments. So right now we need to understand that what exactly is the state. A state is something which is the sum total of what is going on in your mind and what is going on in your body. Right now, a state can be of two forms that we need to understand. When we are talking about state, so state of mind can be either resourceful or it can be unresourceful. Right? So state of mind can be either resourceful or unresourceful. What are the examples of unresourceful state of mind? Unresourceful state of mind can be anger, sadness, depression, irritation, lack of confidence, right? Hurt, guilt. All these negative feelings helps us understand, helps us know that we are in some unresourceful state. And what are resourceful states of mind? Confidence, joy, love, courage, excitement, decision making, enthusiasm, motivation. All these things are resourceful state of mind, positive states of mind, right? So state can be of two forms, resourceful or unresourceful. So by now you understand that we need to take this responsibility. We need to take this responsibility that we need to stay mostly in resourceful state of mind rather than being in unresourceful state of mind, right? I hope you have got this clarity. Now let's understand the next point. The next point is our state determines our behavior. Our state determines our behavior. That means how you will behave depends on what state you are into. Suppose you are in resourceful state of mind, your behavior will be different. If you are in unresourceful state of mind, your behavior will be totally different. Let me give you some example and you will know. Suppose you are working in an office, right? And today it was a bad day. People criticized you, your senior or maybe your boss. He told you that you are no good to the company and you are useless, and even we are thinking that we should get rid of you. And this is the situation that was going on in your office, and you came back home. Situation 1. Now situation 2. Today in your office, you got lots of appreciation and your senior or your manager is telling everyone that you should become like this person. See how motivated, how hardworking this person is, right? And we are thinking that you should be promoted in this organization. So these are two situations. Now you come back home, and once you reach home, you arrive home, your wife is opening the door or your life partner is opening your door, and once you are there, your life partner is complaining that your child is not studying properly, your child is doing mischievous activities throughout the day. Now will your behavior with the child be same in both the cases or they will be different? And be honest in your answer. Obviously it will be different in both the cases. One, when the case was you got a scolding in your office, maybe you can behave rudely with your child, right? Maybe you will also scold him, or maybe in India people give a slap, right? Outside India the situations are different. So this is something, when you are in unresourceful state, you behave in irrelevant ways. That means your behavior is irrelevant. On the contrary, if you are in resourceful state, you got appreciation and you are happy and you are coming home, maybe in the same situation, now you will counsel your child, you will actually motivate him or her, and you will try that this person should get motivated and work in more efficient way, more effective way, more relevant way. So now your behavior is relevant. In the first situation, probably your behavior was irrelevant. So your behavior is dependent on your state. The son or the daughter is yours, the child is same, the family is same, everything is same, but still your behavior got changed because one thing changed, and that was your state of mind, right? So state determines your behavior. So the next understanding that we need to record, that is state determines or produces behavior. In most cases, we call behavior as action. Now, by now you know that your behavior can also be either relevant or it can be irrelevant. So your behavior can be relevant or your behavior can be irrelevant, and your behavior is depending on your state. So you know that if you are in unresourceful state, your behavior will be irrelevant, the possibility is more. If you are in resourceful state, probably you will acquire relevant behaviors, right? So that learning can be summarized in this way, that resourceful state leads to relevant behavior and unresourceful state leads to irrelevant behavior, right? So I hope you got this clarity. Now let's get down to the last and the final step, and that is your behavior produces result. That means the results of your life depends on what actions, what behaviors you acquire, what behaviors you practice. So state produces behavior and behavior produces result. This is the complete understanding of this model. So your results will depend on how you behave. Suppose you behave in relevant way, you will get desired result. If you behave in irrelevant ways, you will get undesired results, right? You are working in some business, or you have some startup, or you are doing something. If you do not work at the optimum level, if you acquire poor behaviors, your results will be poor. If you acquire average behavior, you will get average results. If you engage in some extraordinary behaviors, extraordinary action, you will get extraordinary result, right? So this is the complete cycle. We need to understand that everyone in this world actually wants to change the results they are getting, but results do not change directly, or results do not depend on some luck or some magical powers. Actually, results depend on your behavior, and your behavior depend on the state you are into. So you need to master your state so that you get into relevant state, you acquire relevant behaviors, and thus provide relevant results, create relevant results in your life. So what exactly is the learning? The final learning is state produces behavior and behavior produces result, right? State produces behavior and behavior produces result. So if you want to change the results in your life, you will need to change the state of mind in which you are functioning, because with resourceful state of mind you will acquire relevant behaviors, thus produce relevant result. If you get into unresourceful state of mind, you will practice irrelevant behaviors, and thus it will lead to undesired results that you do not want in your life, right? So these are all the learnings that you have got from this particular model, and I hope this NLP communication model is something that you would have thoroughly enjoyed. You would have actually understood that how exactly human mind works. Actually, external events are going on, you receive information with the five senses, you filter these information with the help of filters like deletion, distortion, generalization, which are based on these components of your mindset, beliefs, values, past experiences, all these things, then you create some perception which is called personal internal representation. Based on your perception, personal internal representation, you acquire some physiology, the sum total of your PIR and physiology. That means what is going on in your mind and what is going on in your body. The sum total of these two things result in creating some state of mind. The state can be either resourceful or unresourceful. Resourceful states can be understood as positive states of mind. Unresourceful states can be understood as negative state of mind. So the kind of state you get into determines that what kind of behavior or what kind of actions you will take. So if you are in resourceful state of mind, you will practice relevant behavior. If you are in unresourceful state of mind, you may practice irrelevant behaviors. And finally, the quality of your behavior will determine the quality of your result. If you are practicing poor behaviors, you will get poor result. If you are practicing average behaviors, you will get average result. If you are practicing extraordinary behavior, you will get extraordinary result, right? So this is the entire NLP communication model, and I feel that this is the most powerful model that explains how exactly our mind works, how exactly we function in this world and create results, right? So now you have got understanding of all these concepts, and you know one of the most important things are the state of your mind. That means you need to stay into resourceful state of mind, or if due to some reason you have gone into some unresourceful state of mind, you need to switch and you need to become a person who is in resourceful state of mind most of the time, right? So in the next video, we will be learning that how you can shift your state like this from unresourceful to resourceful, or how you can stay in resourceful state of mind most of the time with the help of your physiology, right? So I'm excited to meet you in the next video. Live the life that you deserve.